So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So I managed to find this game for cheap, like £15, and whilst this whole crazy lockdown situation is going down, I thought I might as well go make some videos about games that I haven't played yet that I missed out on, and I missed out on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite when it came out, mainly because I heard it was not good. I heard that it was fairly trash, which, playing it myself, a lot of people are annoyed about the roster being very small, which I understand, but also with rights and everything. I think the biggest problem with this game is it's not better than the one that came before. The one that came before was so amazing that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite just feels a bit not as good in retrospect, but it's still a fine game in terms of fighting games. In terms of fighting games that I've played, because I haven't played a lot. I'm not a big fighting game guy, even though most of what my Twitch is based around is Injustice 2. Yeah, I haven't been doing Twitch for a while. My headset broke. I'm getting a new one, so streams will be back next month. But the biggest letdown for this game is that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate was infinitely better, which is, yeah, pun intended. So the biggest drawback is that the roster. There's no X-Men. There's no Deadpool. There's no Fantastic Four. Even if there was Fantastic Four in the previous game, which I don't think there was. Thinking about it now, but yeah, there's no Fox characters because of rights at the time. But the characters that are there, there's enough there, I think. The story, there is a story to this. It's not written very well. It's very kind of there. It's just there for there to be a story, and it doesn't make sense in the whole grand scheme of things. It's just giving a reason for these characters to be in the same game together and giving them something to fight. And they tried to make it this big, grandiose thing, and it just ends up becoming. And I kind of compare it to the worst DC animated movies, like Justice League versus Teen Titans. It's like that kind of level of writing where it's so just cringy, and they do things for just the sake of doing things. But the core gameplay is there. It's tight, it's fluid, it's responsive. It's just there's not a lot of characters to choose from, and some of the best characters from the previous games aren't here. And that's kind of the most annoying thing about this game, is that it's not as good as it has been in the past. It's still good. It's still phenomenal in terms of it's a great fighting game, but it's just not as good as the series has been previously. But there's some characters in here that I didn't expect to show up, like Nova. Nova's not appeared in the films. Why would you put him in? Dormammu wasn't a popular character at this point. Neither was Captain Marvel. Thanos, you got to throw Thanos in there, but they do leave it on a cliffhanger, which I don't think is going to get resolved because with the response of this game, I don't feel like there's going to be a follow up, or at least the follow up's not going to follow up this story because it's not a very good story. It is interesting seeing these characters interact though, because it's literally just like they've known each other for a while. It's just a team up of some of your favorite video game characters with some Marvel characters. It's interesting that they only put 2 members of the Guardians of the Galaxy in this game. That's weird. And the DLC characters are also a weird choice. Like Venom, I get. Black Widow, why is she not just in the main game? Like, I wouldn't pay money to play as Black Widow. Like, what? Like, I understand some people would, but I personally wouldn't. Winter Soldier, he should be in the base game. I wouldn't pay money to play, or I wouldn't pay money on top of what I paid for the game to play as Winter Soldier. The Capcom characters, maybe yeah, I would. Like, Monster Hunter, I'd pay money to play Monster Hunter. I want to play as the Monster Hunter. I'd rather play the Monster Hunter in Monster Hunter, but, you know, I'd pay money to play Monster Hunter in this. It's a new character. It's a character we don't see very often, and it's a character that plays different to everyone else. Sigma, I'd pay money to play as Sigma. Why Ultron's in the base game, but Sigma's DLC? I don't know. Go ask the developers. Go ask Capcom. I don't know. He's like one half of the main villain. Why he's not a playable character in the base game, I don't know. But hey, buy our DLC packs. And that's the most annoying thing with fighting games in general, is that the DLC is just new characters. Especially with this, the DLC is just new characters, and they're new characters where, in a game where most of the characters feel the same to play. It's like, no character feels, like, necessarily different enough. The only characters that feel different enough is Dante and Hulk. Just because Dante, his moveset is his moveset from Devil May Cry 5 or Devil May Cry 3, which is perfect. That's what you want. You want the characters' movesets to be directly driven from the game that they're from, or to be heavily influenced by the game that they're from. I feel like with most of the Capcom characters, they just slapped on like, oh, what how would this character be if they were only from a fighting game? But with Dante, they were like, right, we'll actually put care into creating this character. And with Hulk, it's just like, yeah, he's a big bruiser. He plays like Hulk, which, you know, works. He doesn't play like any other character because he's not combo driven, which makes him very hard to play and very terrible in the game. But yeah, that's kind of my, like, overview of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, 4, Infinite. I can't remember the fucking title of this now. Why they didn't just call it MVC 3 or 4, MVC 4. Why they didn't just call it MVC 4, I don't know. Why they had to go with Infinite. Oh, we use the Infinity Stones, and we've got to be hip and cool. No, you're not. You're not. Because your game is just a bit average. It's just an average fighting game. And for Marvel vs. Capcom, it should be more than just average. Like, either the fighting had to be really top-notch, and the story had to make sense, because here it's just, oh, we've got characters together, and they're doing things together, and, ooh, that's cool. That's a cool team-up. No, it's not. Because most of the team-ups are just Mega Man and Iron Man. That makes sense. Mega Man and Thor. Okay. Chris Redfield and Frank West and Spider-Man. fighting Nemesis. Why? Because story. You know, the story isn't as deep and interesting as like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, which I don't think it was trying to be. It was trying to be a campy, like, not very serious thing, but they do try and make it serious. So either they had to go fully in with the campiness and the cartooniness, or fully in with like the dark stuff, and they had to make it like, because you've got characters from Resident Evil in this. You've got like Marvel characters, and it doesn't really fit that MCU tone. They try to, but it just feels like a cheap, watered down version of it, which I don't like. Which I don't like. It feels like it's attempting to be a Marvel movie, but it just doesn't have the talent behind it to be even like the worst Marvel movies, because the story is just like, it gets to the point where you want to mute the game audio because it's just unbearable to listen to what these characters are saying, because it's so cringy and over the top. Like there is a scene where Dante and Iron Man are like, that seems like an awesome responsibility. Well, we're awesome guys, and they do a bro fist, and it's like, just stop, just go. I feel like I should turn off my console right now. But anyway, that's my overview synopsis thing on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. I would say if you can find it for cheap, it's on sale right now. So if you want something to waste your time with, the story's going to take you like 2 hours. It goes over like that. But the actual core fighting game, like, it's cool to play multiplayer. It's a cool game, and if you like Marvel characters and you want to see them fight Capcom characters, then this isn't a bad thing. But also, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is on sale for £6, like for £6 British. So buy that instead, because there's more characters and it's more fun. So yeah, do that. Buy Marvel vs. Capcom 3 instead. So yeah, go check out all my social medias. They were at the beginning, and they're linked in the description below. See ya.